How did I get started creating content for the music industry? So before we start, I just want to say this isn't a how-to video. This is my story. I'd hope that you find some inspiration from this. I hope there's some useful information in there for you, but this is just how I got my start. 2.5 years ago, I bought a GoPro. I actually bought this GoPro. It's the GoPro Hero 6 Black. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm a musician and I actually bought this GoPro to capture content of my bands playing live and stuff that we get up to on the road, just to post that online, try and get ourselves out there a little bit. I did actually film a full music video back then for one of my old bands with this camera. We just put it in the front of a car and acted silly. These bodies follow me through the depths of hell. Not long after I bought this camera, I went on holiday with my mum and my girlfriend to Disneyland Paris. I thought I'd take it with me. I needed to get some practice editing. So I thought just for myself, I would make a video a day whilst I was there. I thought it was quite a fun, interesting place. It might look pretty cool. So I set myself a target of creating one video every single day, just so I could practice getting used to using the camera, get used to editing, because I'd never edited anything before. My initial intentions were never to post this online. It was a personal thing. I just wanted to do it for me. But once I actually created the first video, I thought, you know what? Let's post this online. Let's see what people think about this. So I posted that first video online. You can see a little bit of it here. Looking back on it now, it's not great, but everybody has to start somewhere, you know? I actually got a lot of positive comments about this video, so I thought, okay, maybe I'll post the rest of the videos. I was there for like 5 or 6 days, so I ended up creating 5 or 6 videos in total, and I ended up posting them all on my Instagram and on my Facebook. Again, every single video I posted, there was people asking me how I was making them, what cameras I was using, saying that they're really good and they really like them. Again, looking back on it now, they're not impressive, but that was the start of everything for me. If it wasn't for buying this camera, and if it wasn't for going on that holiday and deciding to create this content and put it out there, I wouldn't be doing the work I'm doing right now. And I can't stress that enough for new starters, that you have to start, you have to create something out of nothing and post it. The more you do it, the more practice you get, the better you will get at it. I think that is really, really important. You have to just start. So the holiday ended, I went home and I went back to my normal life. My professional background is I'm a graphic designer. I've been a graphic designer for 15 plus years now. And at the time, my job was I was a graphic designer and a print manager at a printing company. Now, the next part is a tough subject to open up about, especially on video. I feel as though it's not just a really important part in my story, it's also a really important thing to talk about in general. And it does need to be more openly talked about. For the longest time, I struggled really, really bad with my mental health. It was a really bad time in my life. And once I'd come back from this holiday, it had been happening for a while. The pressure being put on me at my job was just growing and growing. And I was being forced into positions that I didn't want to be in. And long story short, one day I had a complete mental breakdown at work. I would never wish that feeling on anybody. And it was that point I finally realised I actually had to do something about this. I had to open up and I had to talk about it. I went to the doctors, and for the first time I actually spoke about this openly. And that was a huge breakthrough point. He ended up giving me a sick note from work, but there's one thing that he said to me that really stuck in my mind, and that was, this sick note will not fix you. Because once this sick note finishes, your job's still there, so you need to make a decision. I took that sick note and I had a couple of weeks off from work. During that time, I wasn't creating any content or anything like that, but my boss at the time kept relentlessly calling me, texting me, emailing me, not to check that a member of his staff was okay, but begging me to go back to work. And I realised it just really was not a healthy situation to be in. I decided to quit my job and go full-time as a freelance graphic designer. The problem I've always found with my design work is that nowadays it's a really oversaturated market, so it's actually quite difficult to get work. But then I remembered how much positive feedback I actually got on the videos I'd posted before when I was on holiday. So I thought, okay, there might be something there maybe. So that was when I really got to work. I woke up at 5 a.m. every single day. I went to bed late. I soaked up as much information as I possibly could. I learned the basics of filmmaking. I watched as much YouTube as I possibly could. I linked some channels that really helped me when I first started below. Skillshare as well. I'm nothing to do with them, but Skillshare was also a really, really good help for me. If there was information out there, I was reading it and I was soaking it up, and I just became a sponge, and I grinded really, really hard to learn all this. I didn't save any money before I left my job, so I didn't really have much of a backup, and I actually used my last month's wage to invest into the business. I actually got knocked back pretty badly to start off with because I ended up losing quite a bit of money from a scammer, which is a story for another time. But yeah, I used pretty much the last bit of money that I had to put together a rig that I could use to start making some decent content better than a GoPro. On the 1st of July 2018, I created my business, Volca Media. I've got a lot of friends that own small independent businesses, so I reached out to them and asked if I could create videos for them for free. It means they get free advertising and I get work to put into a CV. I did quite a lot of free work, but one of the most important things that I took away from that time was the amount of things that I learned from being in live shooting situations. The next part of this story does move pretty fast from where I was to where I am now. So I'm posting these videos that I was creating for free for my friends. I was posting them on Instagram and Facebook. I was posting them for a while. One of my friends, Aaron McKenzie, who you may know as the bassist for While She Sleeps, also is a filmmaker himself who runs his own business. AM Films is a fantastic filmmaker. He reached out to me and asked if I was free to work a job with him. He said that he was watching my work and saw that I was getting better at what I was doing, and he liked what I was doing, which meant a lot to me coming from someone who'd already created some amazing content. That job was going down to London for a weekend and filming a small band called Behemoth. Now, I know that is a very big step, and I know not everybody is lucky enough to have the friends that I do, but I just want to say I've been in the local music scene now for 16 years. I've been in bands since I was 13 years old, and I have met a lot of people. I've done 16 years worth of networking and making friends, and networking is just so important. I am going to be doing a whole video based around this, so click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when that video goes live. Anyway, I went down to London. I filmed for Behemoth for the weekend. We shot them performing a few songs at BBC Maida Vale. We also shot them doing a signing at Oxford Street HMV, and they'd also put together a really cool art exhibition, so we shot that. All of that actually got released on a deluxe version of their album. Where is it? I've got it around here somewhere. Yeah, all actually got released onto this deluxe version of the album. There's the disc. That's got my first ever paid job on there. If you look really closely, there we are on the inside of the cover. How cool is that? So yeah, we did that job where we spent a while editing that and sent it off to their management, and they loved it, which was fantastic. I thought this was going to be the big break. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have so much work coming in now. Completely wrong. I actually went back and carried on doing free content. But at the back end of that year, Aaron actually called me up again and said that from the same management, he'd been offered a tour to go out and create daily content for them, but he couldn't do it because he had prior commitments with his own band, and asked me if I was available to go and do it. It was in 2 weeks' time from the time he'd called me, and it was to go on tour and create content for a German thrash metal band called Creator. It was a really big tour. I've actually got my pass from that tour right there. And I said yes. So he put me in contact with their management. I've done a lot of work with these guys now. Shout out to all the guys at 5B. And that was the tour that made me realize that I've got a future in this. I really felt as though I found my niche. The point that kind of solidified that in my mind, halfway through that tour, the management actually texted me and said that they were loving my work, that they were really happy with it, so offered me another tour there and then. And I couldn't begin to put into words how much I appreciate that. Ever since that point, the majority of my work has been going on tour with bands and creating content for them. So yeah, that's how I got my start making content for live bands. I hope this video isn't too long. I tried to condense everything down as much as I could for you all. If I've not quite covered anything as much as you'd like, just let me know in the comments and I'll go over that in a different video. I've got a bunch more videos planned and coming out very soon. I'll see you in the next one.